Hi, this is my review of Wallace. This is a mini campaign setting for the Heroes and Hardships role-playing game. The core rulebook for Heroes and Hardships hasn't been released yet, however the quick start is available for free. I have already reviewed that quick start, please check out the link in the description below. For a quick start, it's a very robust, extensive book, it's quite impressive, so please check it out. You can use that quick start to run Wallace. And Wallace is not only a setting, it also contains a series of connected scenarios for you to recreate the heroic struggle of William Wallace. Historically speaking, that is, it is not based so much on the popular film Braveheart, it is more in tune with the historical reality of William Wallace, his attack on Lanark Castle. Now let's talk about the quality of the PDF. The quality is great. The document is well organized and written. You have bookmarks, a hyperlinked table of contents. The graphic design and layout makes a lot of sense for the type of story that it is trying to represent, that is the Scotland context from this particular story. The illustrations also do a great job. They are classical illustrations of how those individuals, those heroes and villains looked back then. You have images of the structures, of objects, and also of people, of course. So the quality is quite excellent. And for a document with so much graphical richness, it loads so fast. It's going to be very easy for you to navigate your way through the entire PDF. Now let's talk about the contents. And before we go further into the review, I must warn you that this will contain spoilers. This is for the Game Master's eyes only. The book starts with a really nice poem by Blind Harry that goes a bit like this. Of our ancestors, brave true ancient Scots, whose glorious scutcheons knew no vars or bloods, but blood untainted circled every vein, and everything ignoble did disdain. Of such illustrious patriots and bold, who stoutly did maintain our rights of old, who their malicious inveterate hosts with sword in hand did gallantly oppose. And so this poem goes. It's a really nice poem. You also have an introduction to the entire thing, because this game is about William Wallace. That is his first act of open defiance against England, the action of Lanark. Like I mentioned, this is a short campaign setting. It doesn't contain everything going on about the conflicts between England and Scotland in the 13th century, but you have enough information to further develop or build upon the material contained in the document. Now, when it comes to the scenes and scenarios that you can play using this document, this is a non-linear approach. The player characters will have choices on how to proceed. It is up to them if they can fail or succeed at a particular task. So it is up to the game master if he or she wants to represent the story as it actually happened in a more historical way, or if you want to embellish things, that is also possible with the information here. And so the players are going to take the roles of Scottish rebels, and one of them could even play as William Wallace himself. If you don't like a campaign where you are completely playing second fiddle to the hero, you can play as the main character, or due to your actions, to the freedom represented in the document, encouraged throughout the acts of the campaign. Maybe you even overshadow William Wallace in this version of the story. It's all up to you. And in order to do that, this document contains information on the beginnings of rebellion, what started the conflict. On May 1297, for a year unrest has spread across Scotland since the death of King Alexander III, when he fell from his horse. The heir to his throne was his granddaughter, Margaret the Maid of Norway. Her trip to Scotland was filled with disaster, and she fell ill and died upon landing on the Isle of Orkney in 1290. Very convenient. With Margaret the Maid's death, many great nobles of Scotland began to vie for the Scottish crown. As Scotland drew closer to civil war, Edward I, the heroic King of England, was asked to arbitrate a peace between the Scottish nobles. Upon arriving in Scotland, King Edward insisted that these nobles bow to his authority as the Lord Paramount of Scotland. So this started the whole conflict. There were many Scots who opposed Edward, and this is a summarized version of what started it all. There are other elements such as, for example, the participation of John Balliol, the interference on the part of France, but this is it. Many rebels arose to stand against King Edward, and amongst all of those people, there was one by the name of William Wallace. And in this campaign setting, you participate in his fight against Castle Lanark. You have a description of the town of Lanark, a town in central Scotland. It had no great importance to the English occupation, but this is the defining moment of the legend of William Wallace. And because this place is of no strategic importance, it adds to the legend, to the passion of William Wallace's story, because it is believed that it was an attack based on William Wallace's desire to avenge his wife. You have information on the heroes of Scotland, of course, but the player characters are going to be these heroes. One of them could even play as William Wallace. However, it's also important to note that there were also English sympathizers, French allies, and Welsh mercenaries. So you can create a character that belongs to any of those factions. It would be a mistake to think that all Englishmen were in agreement with King Edward I or Longshank's actions. You also have information on female characters, because this mini-campaign setting and the included multi-part adventure or mini-campaign features a historical take on things. Female warriors were not common, so it is up to you to decide if you want to include female warriors or perhaps create a female character that participates in non-combat moments. Perhaps they would work as spies within the adventure or helping the rebels in other ways. But the most important thing is that you have fun playing this adventure in this campaign setting. The document also contains details on why did William Wallace attack Lanark. Like I said, it is suggested that William Wallace's wife was executed for helping William Wallace escape after an argument with the sheriff William de Heselrigg. You have a table to determine this reason for the attack randomly. Maybe Wallace decided to attack for ambition, or maybe for love. You also have information how to use the fate attribute from the Heroes and Hardships Quick Start book. It is suggested that it is not used to handle things a bit more gritty, more historically accurate, but if you want to include even more heroic exploits, you can do that. You have information on the castle and its surroundings, and the sort of characters that participate in this conflict. Starting with William Wallace, of course. William Wallace was a man of lower nobility when compared to other Scottish elite. Wallace has done little to distinguish himself before the battle at Lanark, but this is the time where his legend truly begins. You have additional details about his life, but also his complete stats, his attributes, characteristics, abilities, skills, gear, so you can play as William Wallace, or use him as a non-player character if needed. You have information on Inside the Valley, which contains most of the castle's population, as well as information on the presence of the church. You have non-player characters such as Father Bruce McIntyre. Father Bruce is an aging Scot from Ayrshire. He came north with the English as King Edward's men cut through Scotland during their invasion. The previous priests in Lanark fled, and Father Bruce took their place. Father Bruce is not well liked among the Scots here in Lanark, as he is seen as someone sympathetic to the English. You also have other characters such as Brother Edwin Fraser. Rumor has it that Brother Edwin participated in the Battle of Dunbar in the year prior, but the English do not seem to care overly much if true. Brother Edwin has found his place among the Scots. He delivers the Lord's word while mass is filled with English, to the exclusion of the natives. You also have information on the barracks and hall, with templates for any of the enemies that you can find within, such as the English soldier sergeant, the English archers, English soldiers. You also have information on the stables, with non-player characters such as Kenny and Kirk Gilday. Kenny and Kirk are 12-year-old twins whose father is bedridden and infirm. Their father, Robert, is the stable master at Lanark. The English saw no reason to change this during their occupation. Now, the interesting thing about all of these non-player characters is that some of them could be potential allies. When you are attacking Lanark, they could perhaps offer alternative ways into the castle, or perhaps offer valuable information about the enemies. You also have details on the workshops, with non-player characters such as Harry Hornwell. Harry is an Englishman, but his parents migrated to Scotland when he was a child. Harry is the local smith, whose job consists mostly of making shoes for horses and working any metal needed around the castle. Harry also repairs armor and weapons, but does not have much skill in creating them from scratch. Harry believes the English are sovereign over Scotland and supports the occupation fully. You also have John Abels. The handyman and carpenter known as Blackjohn is an important member of Lanark's workforce. He is a versatile carpenter and skilled laborer. His family helped build Lanark over a century ago. And he is not a fan of the Englishmen, however, he is not ready to side with the Scots. It may take some persuasion for him to join the cause. You also have information on other commoners as well. Now when it comes to inside the castle, you have notable personalities such as Sheriff William de Heselrigg. He was appointed Sheriff of Lanark upon English control of the castle. He serves as the chief administrator of the castle and the surrounding areas, providing security for the English occupation of Scotland in this region. He is a stern man. However, the sheriff does not heedlessly resort to violence, but he treats any that break the king's law as criminals and spares no punishment. He is middle-aged and quite the battle-hardened individual, a capable administrator, warrior and leader, so he is going to be a formidable threat. You also have details on Sir Thomas Grey the Elder, a knight and deputy to Sheriff William de Heselrigg. He is an incredible warrior who protects the interests of the Heselrigg and England. The knight is a very quiet man who lets his actions do the talking. You also have details on Thomas Grey the Younger. He is the son of Sir Thomas, the deputy of the sheriff. He is actually a young man with goodwill, which can be used for the Scottish cause, but his loyalty to his father might make any overt assistance difficult. And, of course, you have information on Marion Bradefood, a central figure in the legend of William Wallace. She was William Wallace's wife, a young woman with dark hair and tanned skin, which is the result of her Italian mother. Her unique appearance brings eyes upon her, and is likely why she was selected to serve the English in the keep. She has almost unlimited access to the keep, day or night. This could prove useful for the player characters. Now, this is going to be the end of part 1 of this review. On part 2, I am going to talk about the 3 acts that compose the adventure, or rather mini-campaign, because many things could come forth from any of these acts. This is an adventure that is difficult to gauge as to how long it will take to complete it, so that adds to the value of this document. I hope you will watch part 2 as well. Thank you so much for watching this part, and if you have any comments or questions, please let me know. And thank you so much to those that have been supporting the channel by sending Drive-Thru RPG gift certificates. If anyone else wants to further support the channel, the information on how to do that will be in the description below. Once again, thank you, and see you later.